This is KGW News at Sunrise.
The bosses will keep getting richer and we'll keep getting poorer unless we get together.
May Day demonstrators call for better wages, better working conditions, and better benefits. We're going to hear from Starbucks and Amazon workers who are at the heart of the rally here in Portland.
The countdown to Mother's Day is on, and if you're looking for some ways to celebrate, stick around. We have 5 great local ideas for places to take her and ways to gift.
Ooh, and good morning from Helen Bernhardt Bakery in Northeast Portland. They are up and at 'em this morning. They are known for all kinds of delicious sweet treats, and they've got some good stuff for Mother's Day too. We'll take a look at all the different cakes and goodies coming up here this morning on Sunrise.
Second day of May. It's a Monday here in the Sunrise Show. I don't know if you heard, Rod, they actually reworded a very popular phrase. April showers bring May showers.
Showers, yeah. we had a dry start to May. Yesterday was nice.
Very
yeah. To Drew's point, here's the radar this morning on this second day of May. So far we're batting 500 in terms of dry weather and wet weather for the month, right? All right, see the back edge of what looks to be steady rain up in the Cascades. This is the frontal band. We had some gusty winds that were picking up in the last couple of hours, but that early morning cold front is now moving off, and then this will get into more of a typical just numerous scattered shower days. Some west breezes from time to time will pick up. We're down to 49 degrees, just now getting behind that cold front. So to the bus stop we go. Out the door, temperatures generally in the 40s. We'll say about 47. Another cool day. Only low 50s at noon with showers around. We probably see highs get stuck in the 50s. But coming up, there's finally light at the end of the tunnel that this cold, wet weather pattern will soon be out of here. Back to you.
Love the sound of that. All right, Rod, thank you so much. Well, this weekend, boy, it started off on a violent foot in Portland. Police responding to 5 shootings in less than 8 hours from Friday night to Saturday morning. A busy night for police who say all this violence is putting more strain on a force that's already stretched thin. In total, 2 people were killed, 5 others injured.
It started just before 7 p.m. Friday with a shots fired call that police connected to a separate report of people throwing objects from an I-205 overpass in Northeast Portland. And the string of violence ended just after 2 a.m. Saturday morning with 2 people shot at a bar at 33rd and Southeast Hawthorne. This happened at the Gold Dust Meridian, but police aren't sure if it was inside or outside the bar. One person was shot, another was hit by shrapnel. Portland police made no arrests or haven't named any suspects in any of these cases. We'll have more on this coming up at 5:30.
Workers from around the region came together yesterday as labor unions marked International Workers' Day. The rally comes as a wave of Starbucks and Amazon employees voted to unionize over the past several months. They say they need better wages, working conditions, and benefits. Galen Etlin takes us to the rally.
Portland is known for its protests, and May Day was no exception. This demonstration was peaceful and involved employee groups from Amazon and Starbucks working to unionize. Marchers with flags and signs for solidarity made their way through downtown Portland Sunday.
We deserve better. We work very hard.
Nicole Horn works for Amazon and says wages are not high enough for her coworkers doing the hardest labor.
The bosses will keep getting richer and we'll keep getting poorer unless we get together.
Workers are standing up everywhere, and it's important to support them everywhere.
Quinton Conta is an organizer with the new union, Starbucks Workers United.
Finally got an election date.
Oregon's first Starbucks union election is coming up May 17th.
So it's a big moment for labor resurgency, and we're just looking to build on that in Portland.
The labor movement is being revitalized right now in this country.
Demands for better pay and work balance are happening across the board. CNBC reported in March that 44% of employees are looking for different work. 4.3 million people quit their jobs in January, joining the record 48 million who quit in 2021. Many to pursue better pay and treatment elsewhere.
There's strength in numbers.
Nicole is here for herself, her coworkers, and the many others feeling the pressure of rising costs. A song of unity.
The only way we're going to get it is if we come together as one voice, united and demand it.
And a call to action. For employees in these companies, it has been a difficult path forward in unionizing. For example, in New York, employees at a warehouse trying to unionize have faced some corporate pushback on a union vote, But locally, several Starbucks unionizing votes are moving ahead this month. Galen Etlin, KGW News.
And Portland wasn't the only city to protest. Many from around the country gathered in both San Francisco and Chicago to have their voices heard. Students and adults alike gathered to protest student debt, as well as labor rights in the workplace, including affordable health care.
A Portland man is pleading with the person who stole his car Saturday to return family heirlooms that were in the trunk. Chris Thompson says he went to Pier Park in St. John's to play some disc golf. He had just bought the red Honda Del Sol from a friend so he could commute around the city. Well, he left family pictures and mementos and a few other non-valuables in the trunk.
This is our 4 kids. This is their life. My wife was working on a baby book for our youngest, like everything that was going to go in there, and that's sort of the reason why we had it. And yeah, things mean things to people.
He says he doesn't care about the car. He assumes it's already destroyed. He just wants his family's keepsakes back.
Time to get to some other morning headlines on this Monday, and we start with a brand new art installment in Ashland honoring the Chinese men who built the railroad there. That art installment has been vandalized. The damage happened last week with what looks like spray paint. Ashland police say they don't condone damage to any public or private property, but they also said that this vandalism is especially disheartening. We're also hearing reports of more smash and grabs at trailheads and parks in the Portland metro area. 3 thieves were caught on camera breaking into cars at Forest Park. A KGW viewer just happened to leave their dash cam rolling and saw this at the Springville trailhead. This happened Thursday evening right around 6:30. You can see the video there showing people breaking into cars, stealing items from inside. A spokesperson from Portland Parks and Rec says smash and grab victims should absolutely file police reports. And finally here, a long stretch of Highway 224 just east of Estacada is back open now. The 19-mile stretch of 224 has been closed since the Riverside fire back in 2020. Crews have been busy clearing trees and rocks since then, and also installing roughly 11 miles of new guardrail. There is still work that needs to be done in that area, though. That means you can expect more road closures in the area throughout the upcoming summer. And that's a look at some of our Monday morning headlines.
Well, the rain is delaying the start of fire season this year, but Oregon power companies say they'll be ready when it does arrive. They have a plan to make sure their equipment doesn't start a fire. PGE has mapped out 10 high-risk fire zones in the metro area where it will shut off power this summer if strong winds are in the forecast. Back in 2020, the Beachy Creek fire in the Santiam Canyon was partially blamed on down lines from Pacific Power. But that same year, PGE shut down its lines around Mount Hood, which may have prevented a fire in that area. If necessary, PGE says it's prepared to do that again.
And we have a whole process to try to give warning about when this is going to happen. So we try to build up to the event, make sure people are prepared, then turn off the power.
Pacific Power, which is facing several lawsuits over the Beachy Creek fire, also has a new plan to turn off power lines during high fire danger. You can watch the full story right now on KGW's YouTube channel.
In Salem, Oregon's new Treasury building is made to withstand all sorts of disasters. Like in the basement, there are base isolators. They create a layer between the building and the foundation, essentially acting as huge shock absorbers that can cushion the building during an earthquake. They also have solar panels, backup diesel, and a well. All of that means the building can sustain itself in an emergency for at least 96 hours for between 80 and 100 people.
We have to make investments. We have to take the risk to do these types of things to prepare for that, what we know is inevitable.
Deputy Treasurer Michael Kaplan says it's important the Oregon Treasury keeps operating in a disaster because all the state's money, including emergency funding, depends on it.
The city of Troutdale is rebranding, and they just finished up their first major project associated with Travel Troutdale. The gateway to the Gorge Visitor Center and offices for Troutdale Historical Society opened for the first time on Saturday. The center will give tourists and residents a place to learn more about Troutdale, Mount Hood, and the Columbia River Gorge. The building is inside the historic Troutdale Rail Depot, and visitors can start checking it out on Thursday, May 19th.
And over the weekend, Troutdale also welcoming this new food cart pod. It's at Troutdale Station. 8 carts are open, including Seoul Korean Fusion, The Good Burger Shack, and Boba Blastic. Troutdale Station also serves beer, wine, cider, and cocktails. Everything you need, right? The carts open every day at 11 a.m. If you'd like more information, you can follow Explore Troutdale on Facebook and Instagram.
Love that. Okay, Rod, we just had such a spring weekend. You know, we go from like sun to rain and back again, but
we had our dry weather yesterday, which was nice. And now we're back to the rain. This is huge. I've been following this for a couple weeks, and it keeps verifying. So we're going to go with it at this point. The fact, take a look at the graphic. This should be the final week of this crazy, well below normal wet temperature pattern that we've actually been in, going all the way back to the latter part of March. All right. So starting next week, Monday, May 9th, we could get on a long run of a couple of good weeks, perhaps, of mostly dry days, certainly May 9th through the 16th, that's next week. And in this, it looks like we get some warming weather with some temperatures in the 70s and our first 80-degree temperatures of the year. That could take place, 80s, as soon as, say, Thursday, Friday of next week. So we are finally starting to believe that we will see the end of this pattern after this week that we're starting today. Right now, breakout in the Pacific. You have the rain moving inland. This is the steady stuff, which is now moving east of I-5, is the cold front. That came through in the past couple of hours, brought some gusty southwest winds with it. And all of that's now moving out. But there will be an active weather day to follow. There's a heavy shower showing up on Futurecast between Newport and Salem. This is 8:30 this morning. So behind the front, kind of a numerous shower day takes hold. It looks like the showers, once we get into this evening, the sun angle starts to go down, will quickly wrap up. Here we are at 7:30, and we have dry weather tomorrow and dry weather on Wednesday as well. All right, here are the current numbers out the door. 46 Newport, Salem about the same, Portland 49, 52 out in the Dalles, 49 degrees out in Pendleton. Our 7-day numbers staying in the 50s today, well below normal. Tomorrow, pretty close to what yesterday was. Some morning clouds, afternoon sun, mid-60s, 70s on Wednesday. Thursday and Friday both look to be fairly rainy days to me. And then right now we get back to perhaps the first of many dry days to come on Sunday of this weekend. That's your forecast.
All right, we'll hold you to it, Rod. Thank you. Do you need a good Mother's Day gift plan? How about cheering on the Kentucky Derby with Mom at a swanky wine country party? Or clinking glasses with a free tasting flight at a local cocktail maker? Or a spa certificate to the best views in town? 5 local ideas for places to take her and ways to gift coming up on Sunrise.